Hidden in the forests of Assam lies Mayong, a village known globally as the black magic capital of India. For centuries, folklore warned that those who entered this territory might simply vanish. According to local legends from 1337 CE, Emperor Muhammad Shah dispatched an army of 100,000 horsemen to conquer the region. They marched into the dense foliage of Mayong and never returned, cementing the area's terrifying reputation. The architects of this fear were the Bezes, local sorcerers believed to wield immense power. They were said to use specific incantations, like the Bog Bandan mantras, to magically confine and trap wild tigers that stalked the village. These occult practices served an intensely practical purpose. In an isolated, unforgiving landscape, spells and rituals operated as a crucial defense mechanism against natural threats and rival kingdoms. Today, the daily reality in Mayong looks quite different. The feared dark arts have largely transitioned into ethnomedicine and therapeutic healing. Modern practitioners rely on the same ancestral lineage of spells and herbal knowledge to treat actual physical ailments. Patients travel here seeking cures for severe body pain, jaundice, and snake bites through specialized ritualistic healing. But this shift from a supernatural defense into a highly valuable medical system has attracted a new kind of modern invader. Today, researchers, tourists, and commercial opportunists arrive looking to extract these ancient secrets. Unsurprisingly, the community is highly reluctant to share their specific methods with outsiders. They are guarding against biopiracy, the practice where external corporations discover a valuable indigenous biological treatment, slightly modify it, and commercialize it for massive profit. And here is the core problem. Modern, Western-derived intellectual property laws are entirely unequipped to copyright a traditional ritual or patent a magic spell. Because the standard legal framework fails to recognize the way this knowledge is created and shared, Mayong's ancestral heritage is left completely defenseless against corporate theft. Mayong's esoteric practices function as a highly developed codified system of knowledge. The community established the Mayong Village Museum as a sanctuary to preserve the physical evidence of these esoteric practices. The collection houses ancient mantraputhis, fragile manuscripts written on sanchi bark that date all the way back to the 13th century. Written in the old Assamese Kaiteli script, these pages act as hard physical evidence containing specific formulas, healing methodologies, and protective spells. The texts require practitioners to combine these written mantras with highly specific organic specimens and herbal mixtures to execute their diagnostic rituals. Here lies the tragic irony. The physical artifacts rest securely behind glass, but the living, applicable medical knowledge contained within them remains completely exposed to exploitation. The rigid rules of standard intellectual property law clash directly with the fluid, evolving nature of traditional knowledge. Take the concept of authorship. To grant a legal monopoly, intellectual property law demands a single, definable individual or a corporate inventor. Mayong's knowledge defies singular attribution. It is a collective, intergenerational effort, carefully nurtured and passed down through the community over centuries. Standard patents also offer a severely limited term of protection, usually expiring after 20 years. Traditional knowledge requires a system of perpetual, permanent safeguarding. Then there is the issue of secrecy. Enforceable intellectual property requires the creator to fix their knowledge in a public, tangible medium. You get legal protection in exchange for telling the world exactly how your invention works. Mayong's entire system relies on absolute secrecy. The most potent information is transmitted entirely orally and only to carefully chosen disciples. To even be considered for training, a prospective student might undergo the Madhufal test, where they are instructed to cut down a specific tree. They are accepted only if they demonstrate intense restraint and respect for nature by refusing the order. Because these oral traditions and community ownership models don't fit onto standard patent forms, a catastrophic vulnerability exists. An outsider can observe a secret herbal remedy, extract the active biological ingredient, file a Western patent, and legally lock the actual creators out of their own ancestral medicine. Relying entirely on defensive preservation, like archiving brittle manuscripts in a museum, is failing to protect the indigenous community. The unregulated extraction of local folklore and ethnomedicine poses an existential economic threat, risking the total cultural loss of Mayong's identity. A significant legal evolution is required. standard copyright and patent laws must be bypassed entirely in favor of a sui generis, or totally unique, legal framework. Legislative efforts like India's proposed Protection of Traditional Knowledge Bill offer a structural solution by granting perpetual, collective ownership rights directly to the communities themselves. This requires building non-codified databases capable of legally protecting oral traditions and secret rituals without stripping them of their sacred cultural context. The crisis reveals the friction of the modern age, attempting to fit a sacred collective heritage into a legal system designed for individual commerce. Until the law evolves to recognize community ownership, the survival of these ancient practices depends entirely on the community's silence.